What makes an impossible mission successful? Is it one brilliant leader or an extraordinary team? It depends on teamwork. Let's uncover 7
Welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we are diving into something really exciting. We're going to extract some highly actionable, real-world employability and personality skills straight from a high-stakes cinematic universe. Look, whether you're a college student prepping for placements, you're leading a massive corporate project, or you're just trying to build a truly bulletproof career, the lessons we're unpacking today are going to completely transform how you work with other people. We're looking directly at the blockbuster films Dhurandhar 1 and 2, but we aren't just here to review a movie, right? We are decoding 10 core teamwork lessons hidden right inside its most intense edge-of-your-seat moments. Okay, let's jump right in by setting the stage. We need to establish the grim, literal life-or-death stakes of the Dhurandhar cinematic universe. These films kick off right after the 1971, describing this heavy atmosphere of gloom and referencing a genuinely chilling strategy: bleed India with 1,000 cuts. The antagonists we're dealing with, like the formidable Major Iqbal from the ISI, this is a guy so powerful that not even a bird flaps its wings without his say-so. They are determined to inflict catastrophic damage. We even hear these brutal threats of barbaric ends from characters like Raman Dekait. So these aren't your standard everyday workplace stressors. We're talking about the ultimate high stakes, where intelligence officers are facing absolutely impossible odds against terrorism. So looking at those intense cinematic stakes, we really have to ask ourselves a question. When a mission dictates that a single wrong move could cost hundreds of lives, and failure literally means death, what actually keeps an infiltration team together? Is it just raw intelligence? Maybe individual courage? Well, actually, it's something way more powerful than that. It's the undeniable power of high-performance teamwork. And that is exactly what we are going to break down today. Here is the roadmap for our explainer today. We'll group our 10 teamwork lessons into 5 mission phases: high stakes, defining the team mission, trust and roles, global communication, and finally, winning as one team. Starting us off with Phase 1. High stakes and high performance, which really serves as our cinematic metaphor. See, raw courage just isn't enough to get the job done here. In the film, the mandate is to infiltrate the absolute core of terrorism. There's this great line where a character notes, "To land a punch, you must first make a fist." And that fist, that's the team. Every single member has a totally different responsibility. There is zero room for mistakes, and there are absolutely no second chances. Avoiding failure in an environment like this requires a highly structured, perfectly synchronized team. You can't just be a group of talented solo rock stars. You have to function as a single, devastatingly effective unit. Moving into Phase 2, defining the team mission. This is all about goals and vision. In the film, there's this scene where the intelligence officers gather inside an operation room. A giant digital map lights up, and the mission is laid out. And right here is Lesson 1. No one in that room asks, "Hey, what do I get out of this?" Nobody's hunting for individual glory. Instead, their entire mindset is summed up perfectly. Our only goal is the success of the mission. They're asking what the team needs to achieve as a cohesive unit. Nobody starts working before they completely understand that primary goal. And honestly, that is exactly how the most successful companies and project teams operate in the real world. So the crucial point here is that understanding the what, which is our Lesson 1, has to be paired with understanding the why, and that is Lesson 2. In Dhurandhar, every officer knows their daily task is just one tiny piece of a massive puzzle. The goal tells them what to do on a random Tuesday, but the vision tells them why they're doing it in the first place. The best teams out there don't just work together, they actually think together. When you share the team vision, you align everyone's internal compass toward the exact same true north. All right, Phase 3, trust, roles, and commitment. This is where we get into field execution. This quote brilliantly captures Lesson 3. There's this incredibly tense scene where an undercover officer is trapped, looking at a dead end, and suddenly backup arrives right in the nick of time. The officer just looks over and says, "I knew you'd come." That right there is mutual trust. It means knowing your teammate is going to do their job so well that you don't even have to think about micromanaging them. Because without trust, communication breaks down and ultimately the team fails. This flows perfectly into Lesson 4, commitment. The heroes in this film sacrifice their own comfort and safety because to them, the nation comes first. In your career, commitment isn't about some fleeting burst of motivation. It's about consistency. It's about finishing what you started. Which brings us to Lesson 5, roles. In a high-stakes infiltration, one officer tracks, one analyzes the data, one protects, and one leads. Everyone is specifically instructed to perform their own role. Nobody tries to step on anyone else's toes or do the whole thing themselves. Every distinct role matters immensely, and it has to be respected by the rest of the team for the mission to actually work. To really drive this home, just imagine the absolute chaos of a cricket match if the wicketkeeper suddenly threw down his gloves and decided he wanted to bat. Or what if a football goalkeeper just abandoned the net to go play striker? It would be a total disaster, right? I mean, who's saving the goal? If roles are ignored, the entire structure collapses. This just goes to show that understanding your role and staying in your lane is vital for team success. Entering Phase 4, Communication and Global Networks. Let's connect the dots. This brings us to Lessons 6 and 7. In the movie, an undercover officer has to actively win people's trust before they can collect even a scrap of information. It proves that trust really is the greatest strength. Think about it. People don't help strangers. They help people they actually trust. One right contact can change everything. True networking isn't just treating people like trading cards, just collecting names and phone numbers. Real networking is building genuine relationships that create massive opportunities down the line. One good conversation literally can change your entire career trajectory. Now let's tackle Lesson 8, Constant Communication. Out in the field, every single second matters, and the golden rule is simple: never lose communication. Poor communication yields disastrous results, right? You get confusion, endless delays, and conflict. But good communication, that generates incredible momentum. It creates trust, lightning-fast execution speed, and ultimately, success. When you keep your team constantly updated, you completely eliminate the guesswork that normally destroys projects. And we can tie this right into Lesson 9, working with diverse teams. In Dhurandhar, critical intel is flowing in from different cities, from completely different people. Officers are coordinating from entirely different locations, yet they work perfectly as one single unit. The source material puts it perfectly. Distance doesn't change responsibility. And honestly, today's modern workplace is entirely global. Your next teammate might literally be sitting in another country. Great communication removes all that distance, allowing diverse global teams to adapt and function seamlessly together. Finally, we reach the climax of our mission with Phase 5, winning as one team through shared success. For Lesson 10, when the mission is finally a success, nobody stands up and says, "Yep, I did it, it was all me." Instead, the sentiment is, this victory belongs to the entire team. Because great leaders do not build individual heroes, they build resilient teams. It's a cliche for a reason, guys. There really is no I in team, only we. Celebrating a win together reinforces the bonds you've built, and it prepares the whole squad for whatever mission comes next. Let's summarize the real-world impact of everything we've talked about in this explainer. Look at how beautifully these dramatic, high-octane movie moments map directly to exact employability and personality skills. The nation comes first translates directly to your workplace consistency and your commitment. Everyone perform their role is the absolute backbone of good project management and setting professional boundaries. And never lose communication, that is the ultimate test of your interpersonal skills and your execution speed. These are not just fictional scenarios to entertain us, they are a literal blueprint for your career. I really want you to absorb this main takeaway. Whether you are walking into a classroom tomorrow, sitting down for a high-pressure job interview, or just navigating the complex dynamics of your current workplace, remember this: talent may win individual awards, but teamwork wins missions. You can absolutely be the smartest, most talented person in the room, but if you can't work as part of that operational fist we talked about earlier, you are never going to land the punch. So I'm going to leave you with a final thought to chew on today. Out of all the skills we just covered, from sharing the vision and building mutual trust to constant global communication, which teamwork quality actually impressed you the most? Take a second to think about where you naturally excel and maybe where your own gaps might be. Just keep learning, keep growing, and always remember that great careers are built by great teams. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Remember, great teamwork is the result of great achievements. Clear goals, trust, communication, and collaboration. Together, we achieve the impossible. Thank you for watching.